Hello, and welcome to our flip video lesson, Ideas About the Gods, lesson 3.04, part 1. So we've got Ideas About the Gods as part 1, and then we have a Ziggurat to the Gods as part 2. So there's two parts to this flip video lesson, two parts to the lesson for that is assigned for today. So lesson 3.04 details, Human Odyssey reading pages 56 to 63, and this is for part 1. Student Guide Workbook pages 58 to 59. OMS assignment, complete your lessons and readings, and then about the topic religion in ancient Sumer. So our learning objectives, again for part 1, describe how religious beliefs helped explain the apparently unpredictable workings of nature, describe what the Sumerians believed were humans' responsibilities to the gods, and identify the major religious beliefs of the Sumerians. Our introduction. The forces of nature are awe-inspiring and sometimes frightening. Throughout the ages, people have tried to explain the powerful forces of nature and to make sense of the world around them. The Sumerians believed that the forces of nature were alive, and they worshiped those forces. To understand ancient cultures and their beliefs, it's important to understand their religion as it related to the world around them. So it's important that we understand that in their religion, they believed in polytheism. They believed in the worship of more than one god. They also believed that gods controlled the forces around them, controlled nature. And so, again, as we're touching on this topic of religion, which we will touch on several times throughout the year, it's important to remember that we're studying it in context of how it relates to the current time period that we're studying. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask or talk with your learning coach. Sumerian beliefs. The Sumerians believed in many gods. They believed that the gods were powerful and unpredictable, and that it was their responsibility to keep the gods happy. The Sumerians believed that their gods were the cause of the sometimes frightening, unpredictable workings of nature. Religious beliefs played a large role in the Sumerians' daily life. They believed in many powerful nature gods. You can go ahead and turn to page 58 in your student guide. Again, there's not a bunch of space to write, so you may want to pause this video to get yourself a piece of paper. Question number 1. Which Sumerian god would be responsible for each of the elements in nature? So if we take a look, rain, oops, I don't know why this, hold on, kind of went off kilter there. There we go. Rain, winter, hurricane winds, and fertile soil. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take a look at that and answer that. You can pause this video. This is also from your book on page 64. Go ahead and see which one you think would be responsible for rain, long winter, hurricane, and fertile soil. And then you can always pause the video if you need more time. All right, question number 2. Why do the Sumerians identify the forces of nature with individual gods? There are hundreds of natural happenings and disasters that the Sumerians would want to explain. Having gods that represented the many forces of nature was the explanation, since there were many things the Sumerians couldn't control. Question number 3. How did the Sumerians honor their gods? The Sumerians tried to keep their gods happy by building temples and by worshiping them. Question number 4. I don't know why some of my things are moving off there. There we go. What did Sumerians believe about human responsibilities to gods? The Sumerians believed that they were created to be servants of the gods, destined to work hard in order to free the gods from having to work. And as always, it's important to remember your readings. That ties everything together, ties our objectives together. So the readings for part 1 would be reading pages 56 to 63 in your Human Odyssey book. So please do make sure that is complete. Just a review of some vocabulary to help you understand this lesson. Polytheism is the belief in many gods. Monotheism is the belief in one god. Unpredictable is not able to be predicted. Unknown outcome. Responsibility is the state or fact of having a duty to deal with something or of having control over someone or something. And here we come to our quote, civilization is not a movement, not a condition, a voyage, not a harbor. And that's said by Arnold Toynbee. And then here we're on to part 2, a ziggurat to the gods. And for this one, you need to have reading pages 64 to 73. So there's quite a bit of reading in this lesson for the first part and the second part. Student Guide Workbook pages 59 to 62. Your OMS assignment is to complete your lessons and readings, and then about the topic ziggurats and their importance in Sumerian culture. And for our learning objectives, describe ziggurats and identify the purpose of ziggurats. And remember, as always, you can always pause this video if things are moving too quickly for you. Introduction: art and architecture reflect what a society considers important. In Sumer, people venerated the gods and built imposing stair-stepped temples as homes for the gods of their cities. The Ziggurat of Ur is one of the most famous examples. Go ahead and turn to page 59 in your student guide. Okay, we'll answer the questions on page 59 and then move on to page 62. Ziggurat. A ziggurat is a stair-step temple. The Ziggurat of Ur is one of the most famous ziggurats. Sorry about this. I don't know why that keeps moving on me, but there we go. Okay, question number 1. What was significance of the placement? What was the significance, that should be, of the placement? The temples were built on hills or high platforms to protect them from floods. The wealthier cities built the highest terraces for their temples. That should be what was the significance. Part two. What role did temples play? Sumerians believed the gods lived in the temples. The people believed the gods communicated their wishes to the priests in the ziggurats. And then each city in Sumer built a temple to honor the god or goddess that protected the city. The temples were made of mud bricks. Inside each ziggurat was a place for a statue of the god and a place for the priests to bring offerings. Ziggurats were painted, and some might even have been decorated with gemstones and gold. Much of Sumerian life centered on the ziggurat. And now you can turn to, gosh, I don't know why this keeps moving. Sorry about that. Now you can turn to page 62. Question number 1. When were the earliest ziggurats built? The earliest ziggurats were built around 3000 BC. When was the Ziggurat of Ur built? The Ziggurat of Ur was built around 2100 BC. Question 3, who was allowed to climb the staircases of the ziggurats? The temple priests. And question number 4, what was built on either side of the center staircase to make it stronger? Buttresses. And again, please pause if you need to. I know the video moves a little quicker than writing will allow. And here's just a picture of the ziggurat and the different sections of it. Question number 5, what materials did the people of Ur use to make the ziggurat? They made the core of sun-dried mud bricks and the exterior of baked bricks. What 2 features kept the ziggurat dry? Weeper holes and vertical drains. Question number 7, what did archaeologists believe was the highest terrace of a ziggurat? They believe the temple was on the highest terrace. And then this is an optional activity on your own, how to draw a ziggurat. This is just kind of fun to do. So this link will be posted in the class notes, so you can always click on this link there. And here we come to our reading pages 64 to 73. Again, make sure that you are completing your reading to tie everything together that we've learned. Some important vocabulary: ziggurat is a stair-step temple. Buttress are a projecting supportive stone or brick built against a wall. A weeper hole are small holes that were left in the ziggurat to allow water to evaporate from the core. And Ur was the city in the region of Sumer, southern Mesopotamia, in what is modern-day Iraq. In our quote section, a timid question will always receive a confident answer. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, stay positive, stay fighting, stay brave, stay ambitious, stay focused, and stay strong. Have an amazing day.